Hello. What's up, Greg? How you doing? Trying to get prepped, ready to go. Get tonight's show underway. Talking about Arkansas and Ole Miss. It's 6:05. Yeah. Well, I never gave a specific time, did I, Greg? Did I say 6? I'm sorry if I did. That's my bad, Greg. My bad. I was trying to finish some stuff up. I have the house to myself too. My wife took my kids. She's gonna babysit, and so she took my kids over to it's someone we know. So they took the kids over to their house, and I got the house to myself. It's so weird. So I hope everyone's had a good week. Hope you guys are doing well, like we always do. Now, the last video I put out, I had someone who came back after the fact, after we were done with the live stream. This individual was upset that I didn't start immediately out the gate. He said, this bozo hasn't even started in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, so for those of you who are watching this on the playback, you got to wait during a live stream. You got to wait a couple of minutes. You got to wait a few minutes. Let the room fill up so you don't have to go back and repeat yourself. I had planned on originally recording a video earlier today, as I always do. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm starting to believe I'm just not going to be able to keep up with the green screen. The lighting in here it's just too much of a challenge. The room is so small. The lighting it takes me too long to prepare to do a recorded video. So I may just dump the green screen altogether, which I hate to do because I put a lot of money in this stuff. The studio lighting I have, you can't see them, they're off camera, but all this time and energy dealing with this green screen, I'm like, you know what? It's taking me like half an hour before every recorded video to even get to the point where I can record, because I got to get the green screen straightened out. It's such a pain in the butt. And if this room wasn't so small, it wouldn't be such a challenge. So anyways, hope you guys had a great week. And yeah, we're doing more and more of these live videos or live streams / videos. And I like doing them. I like talking with you guys. I like communicating with you. I like being able to talk to you in chat. It's really cool. So before we dump into this, again, we're for those of you who are watching who weren't here live, but you're watching from the beginning, we're about 3 minutes in. I'm going to wait about the 5 minute mark, and then we'll get to going into this Arkansas Ole Miss game and try to break it down a little bit. I just ate tacos for dinner. You guys are going to have to forgive me. Got a little indigestion. Let's see. Hey, we're starting the season 4-0, says Spirit Guns. Pew, pew, pew. I don't know why I keep doing that. Pink Flamingos in the house. That's right. Flamingo Friday. Represent. I'm not kidding you. I believe my wife got this at a Walmart for like $5. So if you want to blend in, or if you want to copy the style, Walmart for like $5. Gregory, how you doing, man? Fishman, how's it going? Go Hogs. Time to beat the snot out of Ole Miss. Tyler Edmonson, who is actually responsible for starting, or he's responsible for giving us the name Flamingo Friday. So shout out to Tyler Edmonson. But he says, "Oh snap, it's Flamingo Friday." Big man Ross, how's it going, man? You're at the Breaking Benjamin concert. We actually had tickets to that, and in all honesty, we just weren't able to go. So we had to sell our tickets. What's crazy, though, is I've actually seen Chevelle live. I'm a big Chevelle fan. I really thought Chevelle should be the headlining band. I'm sorry. Chevelle's a better band than Breaking Benjamin. I like Breaking Benjamin. Polyamorous is still one of my all-time favorite songs. That's really cool, though. Ross, that you're at the show. That's a big one. That's a big show. Definitely want to see them. I want to see Tool, too, so bad one day. Holding it down for the Hogs here in Florida. How you doing? How's it going? Let's see. Woo Pig. Hog fan in Atlanta. Zach Street. How's it going, buddy? Holding it down in hot Atlanta. There you go. And Breaking Benjamin is better. I'm not a fan. I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I like their older stuff. I think the lead singer stuck around and then like the rest of the band quit and he had to find some new. I don't know. They're too mainstreamy for me. Then again, Chevelle is too. Guilty. They are too. Listen to it's 5-minute mark. We're gonna get into this to the Razorback stuff here in just a second. Listen to Chevelle's very, very first album. Really good. I'm not talking about the album with the red and all the singles on it. There's one before that. The CD's yellow. Oh my God, that album is like incredible. It sounds a lot like Tool. If you like Tool, it sounds a lot like Tool, but it's very, very melodic, very raw. I really like Chevelle. I've just never really been a huge Breaking Benjamin guy, to be honest with you. So, but then again, I grew up in the 90s. It was Tool, Slipknot came on later on in the 90s, early 2000s. Of course, Korn. I'm a big Deftones fan. I wish those guys would come through. I think Korn was actually in Northwest Arkansas not that long ago. We're talking way too much about music. You guys, I'm a big music fan. Big rock, metal, classic rock, hip-hop, R&B, you name it. I love it all. Okay. Ready to get on the road, make a 2-hour trip. Oh, so Preston is going to the game. Represent the Hogs, my man. Be loud and proud. Cheer the Hogs. Let them know what's up. Although I've always wanted to go there, and I want to tailgate there so bad in Oxford. My hair's a mess. Got out of the shower. Woo Pig from San Antonio, ready to be louder than the Ole Miss fans, says Dakin. That's a cool name. Almost want to put my beanie back on. Who's in chat who's here back when I used to wear my beanie all the time? Are there any old school people here? I used to wear this thing all the time. You guys remember this look? And the only reason why I ever wore the beanie is because how picky I am with my hair. Okay. Arkansas going on the road against Ole Miss. Ole Miss, we know, got off to a slow start against Portland State. Offensively, they were not very good against Portland State. And I tried to go back and watch what I could with that game. And what little I don't have DVR right now. I will starting on Saturday. I'm going to get DVR back, but so I had to go and just find what I could on the internet. But there's a lot of concern there, and something that I did not point out on Tuesday's live stream: the offensive line play. And guys, I'm a little concerned. They really struggle pushing Portland State around, and especially when you go into the second quarter and into the second half. Now, Rakeem Boyd did have a nice run in the second half, and they were able to kind of get things going a little bit with the run game. The offensive line just was not very physical against Portland State. That's concerning. That's very concerning. Now, for those of you who listen to the Hog Talk podcast, I already gave my guess there as to what happens, and I'll get to that in a second, my prediction on the game. I want to know, if you guys would, in the comment section, I want to know your scores and your prediction for the game. Please let your voices be heard down below in the comment section. I'd really appreciate that. It's you as well that are watching this not live. Those of you who are trying to catch up, or maybe you missed the actual live portion, please let your voices be heard in the comment section. I want to know your prediction or predictions on the game. Ole Miss last week played Memphis, and it was actually defensively, it was a surprising game. Low scoring, and those tacos are kicking my rear right now. Low scoring game. They were able to get the run game going, so there is some good news there. I don't have those numbers pulled up in front of me, but Rakeem Boyd's got to be the guy, and that's going to be the difference maker. I think Rakeem Boyd has to be the guy. The run game, if it's not Boyd, then DeVois, and I want to see Chase Hayden break out of his slump. He's been very vanilla, really, since his first season playing on campus, playing at Arkansas. Outside of that year, he's been very vanilla. He doesn't really blow you out of the water with his run, with his ability to run the ball. And some of that is on the offensive line, but that's where a talent like Rakeem Boyd's able to kind of make up for what you don't have on the offensive line. That's my difference maker. And Jacob and I were talking about this on the podcast, and I had asked him what he thought needs to happen with the offense. Is it pass game, run game? What is it going to take on the offense? Now, obviously, you could argue that having both of those pan out and do well would benefit Arkansas. But if you had to choose one or the other, what would you like to see excel and be the reason why you're able to compete against Ole Miss? And he chose the run game. And he also said the run game would be the most likely outcome. And he's right. I couldn't agree more. I think you've got to establish someone's got to get it going. And I'm concerned up front that they're just not physical enough. I don't know. And then you might have to plug a couple of freshmen up front on the offensive line this week. You're going to be without a starter, possibly. So I don't know. There's a lot left to be desired with that offensive line still. I am a fan of Myron Cunningham. I do think he's going to eventually – I don't know. I think eventually he's going to be someone who stands out on the offensive line. I think he's that caliber of a player. Look, he comes in as a JUCO. We remember coming out of JUCO how badly some of these other D1 or some of these other Power 5 schools wanted him. Arkansas had to really pull him away from a few Big 12 schools, and he chose Arkansas, and he's already he stood out during fall camp. He's starting. He's not really had in that Portland State game, although I'm snap for snap. I didn't see it all, but he looked like he did pretty well. He didn't stand out. I think eventually he comes into that role as someone who takes over as a premier offensive lineman, maybe even in the SEC. I really think he's that caliber of a player. So let me read your chat really quick after I asked about your scores. Where did I leave off? Okay. Cheers, bud. This water's for you. Okay, Mike. Let's see. Big Man Ross. Sorry, had to sell your tickets. Yeah, I hated that. Really wanted to go. That's true. I heard the lead singer. Yeah, the music stuff. Let's see. Woo Pig from San Antonio. Go Hawks from Pittsburgh, PA. Holy cow. Yeah, I remember the beanie. Yeah, the beanie. And again, the only reason why I ever wore that thing is because of how picky I am about my hair. And I'm just, should just let it go. Let's see. I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. Fishman says 27-23 Razorbacks. Okay, not bad. Big Man Ross has got to go. Thanks for stopping by, Ross. I appreciate it. You hear they're wearing all white. Do you like the look? Yes. Okay. No one pointed this out, but these are not alternate away like DMAC era jerseys. They are. It looks like they still have the red stripe on the shoulder pad, but it does look good. I'm not gonna lie. I like the all whites. I know some people don't. Someone had posted their record in the whites. It's not very good. They're like 2-9 or 2-8 with the all white jerseys. Whatever. I mean, what's the record in the red jerseys or in the red on white? What's their record? Not so good. Since they've been doing the uni swap since 2011, 2012, and that all started when they really started going with the alternative uniforms. I can remember that being a big deal too, because on NCAA football, the video game, NCAA football, Arkansas had very plain looks. You didn't have alternative looks like Oregon and some of the other schools. And eventually when they got that jersey swap, it was a big deal on NCAA football. I was like, yeah, all right, we've got alternates. So I do like the whites. Arion Killingsworth says 30-21 Arkansas. That's not a bad score. Greg says 24-10 Ole Miss. Okay. Keep in mind, I know Memphis beat them. Memphis is a pretty good program. They're not a UCF. They're not that caliber, but they're pretty competitive, and they put up a lot of points, and Ole Miss really held them back. Ole Miss really, and again, didn't watch that game from beginning to end, but 15-10, you hold now Ole Miss this is one of the things about Ole Miss. Half their offensive line, more than half their offensive line is gone from a year ago. New quarterback who's freshman, receiving core, kind of some of these guys that rotated last year. So you've got, that's a big reason why I think they were so vanilla last week against Memphis. But Memphis is not a defensive powerhouse. They did, however, Memphis on defense return like 8 or 9 starters. Spirit says 31-17 Arkansas. Henry Duzan. Sorry, 31-30 Arkansas. And then West Florida Panhandle says 27-12. That's a safety. They're going to get a safety or 4 field goals maybe. 23-16 Arkansas says Zach Street. So those are some of the predictions, and they're still coming in. Timothy Wiseant says, if we don't go bowling this year, next year will 80% be Chad Morris's last. I like Chad Morris, but it is time for Arkansas to win. The last 7 years have been awful, and fans are voting with their dollars and feet, Timothy says. I don't know. Do you guys agree? That's that's not a video I dare make yet. The Chad Morris, will he be on a hot seat, or when does his seat begin to get warm? Because you can't look the first 2 years. It's really hard to blame a guy. Oh God, here comes the hate mail. Corey Mooney says 22-10. Boy, a lot of you guys just think Ole Miss, and you could be right. There's something about holding Memphis back like Ole Miss did on defense, and with how much Arkansas struggled on the offensive side of the ball. I don't care if they were vanilla. I don't care if they were base. I don't care that Cheyenne O'Grady, although don't get me wrong, Cheyenne O'Grady he's not quite a difference maker, but he's a playmaker. And not having him out there definitely hurt them. But to what degree? I don't think it was a huge deal. But, I mean, look at all the drops from the tight ends. You know, Cheyenne O'Grady, man, that guy can catch the ball. I don't know if War Machine has a video on him, but if he does, I'm sure a lot of those catches that he has, assuming he's recorded Cheyenne O'Grady or CJ O'Grady, whatever he calls himself these days, they're probably circus catches. So hang on just a second. I'm going to copy, and we're going to paste this bad boy really fast. I'm going to get the word out that we're live. How about that? Live, talking Hogs, talking the Razorbacks, talking about Arkansas at Ole Miss. Get that out there. I just don't push social media as much as I should. So if you guys don't, feel free to give me a follow on Twitter at Tyzilla83, or you can also follow or you can do both. You can follow me over there and on my Twitter, and then you can also follow the Hog Talk podcast. Come join us. Come join. I don't feel as pressured either. I've already got dinner done. No kids. Let's get the exclamation mark. Got to have the exclamation mark, guys. Got to do that. Live. I need to get OBS rocking. Need to get that online broadcasting software rocking and rolling. All right. And paste. There we go. All right. Just let people know we're here. Oh, and then a little GIF. What GIF should I choose, guys? Let's go. All right. Hogs. Oh, no, you don't do that because then you just get a bunch of nonsense. Arkansas. Or no, Razorbacks. Even better. That's our GIF search. Woo Pig. The one with Frank Ragnow doing the Woo Pig. That's just great because he looks so happy. He looks so thrilled doing the Woo Pig. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? If you're on Twitter and you go and you type in for the GIF, like when you're going to use a GIF, you know, those little clips, and you type in Razorbacks, one of the first ones is Frank Ragnow going. he just looks like, I don't want to be doing this. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. All right. Tweet is out. The tweet is out. Uh-oh. There's my phone. So, yeah. Ole Miss, this is a game that's so hard to pick. You know, it just is. I was listening to the Morning Rush and Josh Bernaccini, and then just trying to, you know, listen to what those guys had to say, and then reading articles here and there. You could tell just by what people are saying, no one really knows how this thing's going to pan out because both offenses were bad last week. You know, both opened up against non-conference opponents, obviously, and neither team stood out defensively or offensively. I would argue that Ole Miss's defense stood out against, you know, when you consider who they played against. Oh man, it's going to be. Let's see here. Then we're going to get it up on the Hog Talk podcast. There we go. Ty is live. You guys are seeing some stuff behind the scenes. So the other thing I'm supposed to talk about, and we'll get to that in just a minute too, we are going to be live next week in Ozark, Arkansas. Get to that in a second. There we go. Just tweet that out. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to be in Ozark. And if you're in the area, and I think I've talked to you about it before, if you're in the area, feel free to stop by. And I'll pull up here some more information. Yeah, we're going to be live September 13th, 6:30 p.m. So that's a week from tonight. So a week from tonight, I'll be in Ozark. I've been through Ozark, never actually stopped in Ozark, but we're going to be at the Ox Bend Brewery. I think they're new there in town, so we're going to be there. Myself, Jacob Scott Davis, and our producer, Peck. We just call him Peck. He'll be there. And Peck, who's actually a contributor for sportsandculture.com. If you guys haven't checked them out, I may have to provide you a link down below. Those guys do good stuff. They concentrate mostly on some Razorback stuff and some other college football. Well, really everything. They do NBA and pro football here and there. They kind of talk about it all. That if you have free time and you're looking for something cool to watch, you can go check those guys out on Facebook. But Peck does contribute there from time to time. And of course, Jacob and myself are the host of the Hog Talk podcast. So get back to the chat. Wow, I'm way behind. I love the Razorbacks wide receiver confidence. I haven't actually seen the video. I've heard about it. Which who was it? Trey Knox and is it Knox and Burks? I think they had a lot to say. Oh, Jay Massey had his prediction in 29-30 Hogs win. That's a good score. And again, that's something we talked about. This is how weird college football is. It could be as poor as they played in week one. They could, next week or tomorrow could be a completely different, what you don't expect kind of score. This thing could get out of hand, or it could be another low-scoring affair. Let's see. Timothy says, not too early to talk hot seat. I'm a Chad Morris fan, but he set expectations so high with the hype that he now has to live up to. So, when you consider how not great things have been, and like someone said in chat earlier, for the last 7 years, and you're suffering from people not coming to the games when you're 45,000, 55,000 people coming to a game, maybe 60. Like when you're not getting the numbers that you want to come to the game, when there's an ease of access at home to watch the games at home, you're doing everything you can to you want to create excitement, put butts in seats in these games or in the stadiums for these games. You got to hype it up a little bit, right? Like if he were to come in and just be lackluster, imagine what people would be saying about Chad Morris right now. I don't blame him for the left lane hammer down stuff. I don't blame him for the hashtag. I don't blame him for, everything that he's done as far as like marketing this team. It goes hand in hand with what everybody else would do. And I don't blame him for that. I know it's easy to do right now because there are 13 games so far under the Chad Morris era. And it's just been a lot of head scratching. And we mentioned this on Tuesday, all the fires that Chad Morris has created as opposed to putting out. He's not putting out a lot of fires. He's actually creating more fires. And I think that's the problem. He's kind of, when you go after the media like he has, I shouldn't say go after, but when you respond to the media the way that he does, on top of a lackluster performance against Portland State, when you look back on a 2-10 season, recruiting is great. I think we can all agree that recruiting is phenomenal, all things considered. And I said coming into the year, I don't know that they have another top 25, a unanimous top 25 class like they did last year between ESPN Rivals and 24/7 Sports. They're looking pretty good. They're in pretty good shape right now to have a top 25 class, at least on one of the three major sites, but a long ways to go between now and signing day. But I don't blame Chad for the hyping. I really don't. When you consider there's just zero excitement. I shouldn't say zero. There's not a lot of excitement right now around Razorback football. And you look at Musselman with a basketball program, I don't think he's pushing any promises, but he is creating a lot of buzz. I think a lot of people are excited about what he's going to do. I can't wait to start talking basketball, guys. I'm really excited about that. So I know we're like halfway through this thing, but if you guys could really fast, comment, like I said, let your voices be heard. So do that down below or in the chat, or if you're coming back and watching this video later, do that for me. If you guys would, share the content, copy the URL, paste it across social media, let people know that you're here checking this out. And if you haven't already, feel free to tap the subscribe button. So want to push that, want to say that, get that out there. Always liked Leach for the Arkansas job. Leach, to me, he just strikes me as like I don't want to say a poor man's Bobby Petrino, but he's a winner. Like the guy wins. Where he goes, he wins, regardless of who you want to compare him to. I don't know that he keeps that up at a place like Washington State, but when you look at how the Pack is, the Pack, what is the Pack anymore? Like how soon does, and they're talking about, there's been some buzz around some of these little, these fan sites talking about the possibilities of teams going independent, and they mentioned a couple schools out of the Pac-12. Could you imagine like a USC or an Oregon going independent or leaving that conference altogether? Oh my God. It'd be like the Big 12 is really held up by two schools. Let's be real. Let's be honest. They're held up by two schools, and one of them has been so vanilla or not even good for too long. And it's weird how these conferences, they talk about how the SEC's taking a step back, which they have. I will fully agree. But these other conferences aren't doing anything to take their place. So, riddle me that. Y'all are crazy talking about firing Chad. Yeah, I don't think anyone's talking about firing Chad, and I'm not condoning that. I don't think you fire Chad. Now, if you go 1-11, that's a good question. That's something worth. They did fire Jack Crow after losing to the Citadel in just his second season. Just a heads up. Just saying. I know it was a different time and a different era, but actually back then, it wasn't as common to fire coaches like that. Like you didn't have this. Don't get me wrong. There's always been a shelf life for head coaches. There's always has been, but not near as strict as what it is today. And that was back in the Southwest Conference when the Razorbacks were, in the process of getting into the SEC. And they fired Jack Crow right after the Citadel loss. Apparently, I was at that game. I had no idea. I would have been like 6. I don't remember. But my dad was like, yeah, I was there, and I took you with me. It was actually one of your first games. I think it was my second game. And he's like, you cried the whole time. And he was like, I think I did too. He said, my dad was like, that was, we got out, and he said, walking down Razorback Road was miserable. It always is. That's the long walk of shame going down Razorback Road after a loss. And I couldn't imagine what that would have been like, losing the Citadel, walking back to your car down Razorback Road. Would have been miserable. I'm just saying, though, coaches back then had longer shelf lives, and they fired him after a season, not even a season and a half. Keep that in mind. Anything is possible. I'm not saying I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying they should. I don't think they go 2-10. I think they, I said coming into this, I said they go 6-6. I still think if they lose to Ole Miss, I'm throwing all that out the window, obviously. Let's say, Yo Ty, you should have a guest viewer each Monday with a fan insight on the game. Well, what do you think I'm doing? I'm reading your insight right here. B-Dad 2017 W. That's what I'm doing right now. This would be awesome interactive way to pull eyes and ears to your videos. Make this happen. We have the Hog Talk podcast. We bring on guests there. We have thought about doing something with our phone. We have a phone number that's not attached to any of our personal devices. We're thinking about pushing it out and then letting people respond with, after games, getting their feedback and then playing it on the podcast. That's something that Jacob and I have talked about a little bit. Something we may do in the future. Kind of excited about doing something like that, actually. And we're also in the talks of creating our own Discord page as well. If you don't know what Discord is, you ought to check it out. Derek Billingsley, I think we fired Brett about 2 years too early. He recruited to his system. I think last year would have won 8 or 9 games under Brett. I don't know. Talent was a problem last year. I don't know about that. Do you really believe that we ran a vanilla offense, quote unquote? I love the freshmen, but I don't know how explosive they will actually be against Ole Miss. There's always a freshman ceiling, right? With every position, every player. There's very few players. I mean, even Darren McFadden, although who had to compete with Darius Howard at the time to get the starting job, even Darren McFadden, it's not like what he was his sophomore and junior year. Even he kind of struggled with that freshman ceiling a little bit. And you think about, he's one of the greatest players ever put the jersey on. Yeah, he rushed for 1,000 yards, but go back and look at his numbers. Houston Nutt was very anxious to get him in and get him going, and he did eventually as the year went on. And he did have to compete, again, with Howard, with carries, and Hillis. And because Hillis was a sophomore that year, if I remember right. But there's still that freshman ceiling you've got to be concerned with. I do think they were base. I do think they ran a vanilla offense. I do think that, I think they, if you want my honest opinion, I think they completely overlooked Portland State. Did not prepare for these guys. Portland State's head coach actually came out and said before they left to come to Fayetteville, they were talking to the media, and I found this on YouTube. Or someone had shared it, and it was a link to a YouTube page. And he had said their entire offseason was preparing for Arkansas. So you combine those things along with how young Arkansas is on offense and all the new faces. That's at least a piece of what happened, I think, a week ago. I think that's, I'm not putting it all on that. I think it was poor planning. I said this again on the last live stream. I said this on the Hog Talk podcast. You go back and you watch the end of that first half. I've never seen such mismanagement from a coaching staff. Nobody was on the same page. And if you go back and watch that, Chad Morris is telling the quarterback to spike. The rest of the offensive staff is calling in a different place, a different signal. And it was, you talk to anybody who knows what was going on down there, they all said the same thing. We've been talking with people on Twitter and elsewhere, and they've kind of, these are people that, are part of the media here in the state, and they kind of said the same thing that there's definitely a problem there. There was definitely some miscommunication going on, and it's what happened. We know what happened at the end of the first half. It's because of the miscommunication. You look at the readiness factor; it wasn't there. They never gelled on offense. I don't think it was necessarily one of those things. I think it was a combination of all of them. It's why you saw what you saw. I don't know why. Blake, what's going on, Blake? How you doing, buddy? I don't know why I had to okay that comment. That's really strange. I think John L. Smith ruined the Arkansas brand. Smile. Golly, he's the Joker. Tell me otherwise that he's not the Joker. Y'all join Ty Patreon. Hey, thanks, Timothy. I appreciate that. I haven't pushed that in a while. I tell you guys to go check out the links. I'm just not one to push that sort of stuff. I've been told I need to, and I'm like, yeah, it's there. Go check it out. If you want to join, feel free. Appreciate that, Tim. That's really cool. 30 hours. We'll know the rest of how the season looks. Yeah, so that's really all there is, that I have on this game. Again, you're walking into a situation with Ole Miss who defensively might be pretty far ahead of where they were last year. Last year, they were horrific. 113th overall. No, 121st overall defense a year ago, according to, who is this, Athlon? Lindy's. Their scoring defense, they gave up 36 points a game. So then you turn around, they play Memphis to start the season, and they only give up 15 to Memphis. If you guys don't know much about Memphis, they've got it going on offense. They put up points, and Ole Miss absolutely. So it makes you wonder if this I believe Saturday is going to be a low-scoring game, but it's a PM game. The crowd's going to be in it. They're going to be drunk. I mean, come on, what else is there to do in Oxford? Drink and watch Ole Miss suck. Even if they win, they still suck. Even if they beat Arkansas, I'm not really sure. Really, I think the winner of this game goes on to just be mediocre at best. I mean, that's my honest opinion. It goes hand in hand with what I said coming into the year. At best, I think Arkansas somewhere between 6 and 7 wins at best. I don't know. After that Portland State, y'all, I don't know. A lot going on there. You guys are talking NFL. I'm not really sure what Dakin's talking about. This weekend is going to be awesome, says Spirit. Watch my Hogs beat Ole Miss on Sunday, then the Steelers beat the Patriots. That's where that comes from. Okay, what a great football weekend. Golly, I know it. And my fantasy football team, which is a $20 buy-in, I went through 3 rounds, got a little distracted through our draft, and I didn't participate the rest. I just was like, whatever. I've got my auto draft set up, whatever. I got my first 3 rounds in, and it's only a $20 buy-in. So I'll be at the Arkansas A&M game, Ty. I've got an extra ticket on the 35-yard line on the 19th row. If it's yours, if you can make it. Timothy, I may hit you up with that, sir. May have to hit you up, take you up on that offer. I don't really know what's going on that weekend. I know our Hog Talk podcast, we've got pregame shows for stuff, but I'm not really sure that far out just yet. But man, we're gonna have to stay in contact, Timothy. I appreciate the offer. BB Smith, I hope you've been doing great, man. I hope you have a blessed weekend. BB, thank you so much. Ditto. I hope the same for you as well. I hope this week has been fantastic for everybody, and I hope you have a great weekend. Remember, if you're up here in Northwest Arkansas, if you're on Dixon Street, if you're out partying, doing whatever, watching a whole lot of football, I don't care if it's college or pro, please be safe, guys. Take an Uber, take a Lyft, taxi, have a designated driver. Please be safe. We had a shooting today in Fayetteville. I don't know if you heard about that. Not that that's related to drinking and driving, but I don't know what happened with that. Some kid over off of 265 got shot in the neck, but I heard he lived, so I think we're okay. So not trying to scare anybody or bring the whole live stream down, but just be careful. Whatever you do, you never know. Life comes at you quick. Kel says 37-16 Arkansas. I just hope my Broncos do something. Look, I'm a Ram fan, and my bold prediction, I said this on Tuesday, if the Rams make the playoffs, it's going to be because the NFC West is terrible. I'm just going to say it. The West is garbage. I'm not buying into this 49ers hype, although they might have the best tight end in the league. I'm not buying into Seattle, what they're trying to do. Arizona's going to be crap. They hired a losing coach. Someone explain that to me. I don't understand that hire. I get that he runs a sexy offense, and they drafted supposedly a great quarterback. But, I mean, come on. You're one in an offense with a rookie quarterback, with a guy with a losing record at Texas, or not a losing record, but a not-so-great record at Texas Tech. Come on. What was with that hire? Cardinals are going to suck. Write it down. All right, 36-minute mark. Again, if you guys have any questions, I will answer them. We'll keep it going for a little while longer. We're having fun. We're just chilling. I'm trying to read your comments. I was going to pull up. What was I going to look at? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the ESPN, what ESPN is saying. Let's see. They have, their football power index, 80% in favor of Mississippi of Ole Miss winning this game, of the Land Shark Rebel Bears winning the game. 80%. I really thought it would have been like 60-40. 80% is a little high, I think. But my prediction on the Hawk Talk podcast, I'll just say it now. I do have Arkansas losing this one. I forgot my official score. I want to say it was 20-13 or something similar to the Portland State game. I was unimpressed with what happened with that Portland State game. It really was. And that miscommunication at the end of the first half was so telling to me, because we saw a little bit of that last year and we overlooked it big time because it was year one. And here we are, 13 games under Chad Morris, and that stuff is still happening. I know. First game tie. Got to expect this stuff. Yeah, but unprepared, even with a base vanilla offense, your talent level alone is worth 14 points at the least. And they couldn't even win by that. I'm not sold on what they're trying to do on offense. They don't have an identity. Rakeem Boyd is going to have to take things over, and the offensive line is going to have to help him do it. I don't know what's going on with Hicks and how tight his leash is going to be. What I saw was Starkel made a mistake, and I wonder, had he not made that mistake, had he gone on and scored on that drive, no matter how they get it, whether he were to score or at least led them down the field at the end of the half and got a field goal, whatever, I wonder if they would have kept Starkel in the game. I don't know. I do think Starkel is the better quarterback between the two. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something going on with Hicks that we just didn't see. I do think Hicks has a lower ceiling, but he knows the offense. I don't know. So I do have Arkansas losing this game. I do. Click Daily UK. Oh, boy. I have a feeling you're going to be a bot or spam. How's it going? Let's see. Kel says, Chad said, you're going to have to get it together. Yeah, and they took a little bit of blame, and that's great. I'm glad to hear that. He has been kind of known to throw players under the bus a little bit. That happened a couple times last year. Do you read comments? I sure do. Been reading them for almost this entire live stream, sir. That DB was behind the ref on Starkel's. Yeah. And so, again, I haven't been able to go back and watch that pick, but that's what people were saying in our live chat on Tuesday, that's what was going on, that the ref was in his way and he just threw the ball. Then again, you have to ask, why throw the ball if the ref's in your way, not just get rid of the ball? The DB, let's see. Oh, okay. We are Click Daily. UK have 10K. Yeah, okay. We will. I put him in timeout. See ya. Let's see. Seem to be faster pace offense with Starkel. Yeah. So again, it just kind of goes back to Starkel being, I think, the better talent. He may not know a large portion of the offense compared to Ben Hicks, and he might be a gunslinger. That's fine. He's going to throw an interception or two. It's like high risk, high reward with him, and that's one of the reasons why he ended up losing the starting job. That and Kellen Mond is a hell of a quarterback at A&M. Let's see. Believe me, just going to be a different Hogs come tomorrow. Watch what I tell you. Okay. I hope so. And that's what we heard. We heard this a lot last year. They're getting better. You remember when they put Ty Story in and he clicked a little bit? They're going to be better. They're going to be better this next weekend. They were better under Ty. They clicked better. And I feel like that's the way it is when Starkel comes in. I felt that same vibe. I really did. I like Starkel over Hicks for sure, says BB. What does UK know about college football? They're probably like, sucker? So speaking of that, I actually just finished. Have you guys ever watched a show called Turn? Washington Spies. It's about the Revolutionary War, the war for our independence. God, that was a good show. I finally finished it, but then I found myself talking British, walking around the house like, oh, hello there, Bandit. Our dog's name is Bandit. Hello there, Bandit. How you doing, sir? Good day. Can I have some crumpets and tea? Like I just kept walking around. I felt like an imbecile. My kids were like, Daddy, what are you doing? And I'm like, good day, madam. It's a good show. I recommend Turn. It's good stuff. It was on AMC, but I watched it on Netflix. Highly recommend it. It's a period piece. Just keep that in mind. A little slower pace. It's not like Game of Thrones. It's not as violent. It is violent. There's some gory stuff every once in a while, but it's mostly like tea and crumpets and people arguing over, spy stuff. That's really what it was. More fun to watch than Hicks, says Corey. I see us winning tomorrow, BB. And it's not, again, Ole Miss didn't exactly start off great. Neither did Kentucky, Mississippi State. There's still, I think, a path to a bowl game there. It's just a matter of whether or not Arkansas is truly improved. I don't know. Maybe not. I support Chad Foley, but we clearly still don't have our quarterback figured out, and we will probably not till game 5 or 6, says Dakin. Could be the case. I don't know. Might be the case. I do think it's Starkel's job. It should be Starkel's job, if you want my opinion. And eventually it should be his to lose. He should start to separate himself as he gets more and more reps. He's got 2 years to play. Why not? And my gosh, if Ben Hicks, if you don't trust Starkel and you don't trust Hicks, then what do you do? Via their interviews and Twitter. Oh, the receivers seem partial to Hicks. Yeah, they do. And so does a lot of people around here. And I get it. He clearly knows the offense. I think Chad said something like 70% install with him on the offense. So I don't know. I'm here in the UK till October, and we'll be so glad to be back in Arkansas. Have been here since April. Man, watch Turn. Surprised no one's talking about that. Watch Turn. Awesome series. It's only 4 seasons long. It's over with, so it's not like you're stuck in the middle somewhere. Fishman says, "Get him, Ty." I did. I put him in timeout for 300 seconds. Whatever. For some reason it didn't give me the option to just kick him out, so I gave him I just muted him. Nick Starkel or Nick will start against Colorado State or San Jose State. Hello there, mate. I'm traveling from Pittsburgh to watch the Hogs beat the Missouri Tigers in Little Rock. Cool. I might have the option to go to that game. If I do, I'll let you guys know. If I go to a game, I will let you know. More than likely, though, I know we're going to do if you've ever heard of the Hogettes, they're on Twitter. We're trying to set up a barbecue with them. We're going to do I don't know how far along we are, but we've been talking with them a little bit with the Hog Talk podcast. We want to do a barbecue with them and just some pregame stuff, maybe a live show with the Hogettes. So if you don't know who they are, go check them out on Twitter. Good group of gals, diehard Hog fans. So we're there's some things we're trying to get, done, and we want to do some stuff, tailgating and live streaming before games and what have you. Let's see. The wide receivers have known him longer. That is true. Yeah, he's been there since the spring. All right, we're coming up on 45 minutes. We're going to start closing this bad boy out again. If you guys have any questions, anything recruiting-wise, although I don't have any updates for you on recruiting, there's nothing really there. Let's see. I think we beat Ole Miss, says Derek Billingsley. Colorado State, San Jose State, and Kentucky, and Western Kentucky. Mississippi State is a toss-up. What do you think? That's my when I talk about that path to 6 or 7 wins, those are the teams that are included. There's a path. I don't think any of those teams start off great. I do think there's something, when you talk about the pile of rust, right? When you talk about getting off to a slow start to the season and you play a non-conference opponent, you overlook them, or there's just that beginning of the year rust. That could be some of what's going on with some of those teams that we mentioned. But what I did get to see from those teams was not very impressive. I don't know. Kentucky was not impressive at all. They I don't know how they started off last year, but I don't know if it was that. Mizzou. Kelly Bryant looked good. I said square peg, round hole for him as a quarterback. It looks like he might actually be okay there. It was Houston. They're not this. This isn't the same Houston from a few years back. Like, this isn't a dominant Houston team. You fully expect Oklahoma to do what they did, but I didn't expect Hurts to look that good. He looked really good. Yeah, just talking about Jalen Hurts at OU. Yeah, I was a little taken back by that too. Not taken back. Well, they've got it going on in Oklahoma. They really do. This might be, if Hurts continues to look that good throughout the rest of the season. It's the Big 12. Defense is a 4-letter word in that conference. They don't have the talent. Oh, I know. I've got friends that are Big 12 they just think the Big 12. I'm not gonna say that they believe they don't do, they do no wrong, but when you talk bad about the defense, it's always, well, they've got high-powered offense as well. Yeah, go back and look at the NFL draft for the last 10 years. They don't put talent out of the defense, out of the Big 12 in that conference. They don't spell defense there. But the rest of the Big 12, there's still a mystery there. And what I used to do on the channel, I used to do conference breakdowns, and I'd break them into pieces. And I would kind of break down each conference, like where I think they wind up. And the Big 12 typically is near the back. I wonder this year if they don't make a significant step forward. They might actually be a pretty decent conference this year, but Oklahoma, for the most part, is going to be the team to beat in the Big 12. It's not near the grind, I think, compared to the Big 10 or especially the SEC or the SEC West. But Oklahoma's in pretty good shape if Jalen Hurts continues to play like that. Now, I'd like to see them do that against teams with some better talent on the defensive side of the ball. But I don't know a whole lot about Houston, but they're not the same Houston team. So I'm not – when you see that happen this early in the year, I don't know. Maybe they can continue doing that or not. I don't know. I've got some friends that are some big OU fans. But they're also kind of partial to the Hogs a little bit. But when we do talk about OU, it's like, what is there left to be said about Oklahoma other than the fact that it's like you plug and play at quarterback over there? I think I could go to that offense under Lincoln Riley and throw the ball for 400 yards. It's ridiculous. Baker Mayfield might be legit, y'all. Just going to say it. Baker Mayfield might be legit. I did draft him. I know that. He's my backup quarterback. Watson's my starting quarterback. We'll see how that works out. All right. Get caught up on chat, then we'll probably close this thing out. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much, BB. I really do appreciate that. I had fun watching the live stream. Can't wait till the next stream. Yeah, I don't know how these things are just – they're very I don't know when I'm going to stream until maybe a few hours before. Today I knew all day I was going to live stream. I just couldn't figure out a time. But I do appreciate you guys stopping by. I really do appreciate it. It's fun. I like just sitting here chilling. Typically I'd have a drink, maybe a beer in my hand or something, but I don't. But I like chilling and talking with you guys. I like trying to interact with you as much as I can. Let's see. I know some people think we will beat Ole Miss, Kentucky, Mizzou. Do you see any other games that we could win, says Jacob? No. I mean, I don't know. As of right now, coming into this game, and I said I'm not going to give a new prediction. My preseason prediction was 6-6, and I don't know. I just don't know. Fishman donated $5. Okay, Fishman, I think you donated last time. I don't look. Thank you. I appreciate the donos. I really do. That's cool. I don't know where that money goes. I have yet to figure out where that money goes. I think I've got like $20 sitting somewhere here on YouTube, on Google, and I don't know where it went. I do have a PayPal. If you guys want to donate, there is a PayPal link down below. I do appreciate that, Fish. You're the man. I think you've donated several times. I don't know where that money went, and I always forget to look. But like, we got done live streaming a couple of weeks ago, and I think Fish donated, and I'm like, where did that money go? And I'm looking around for it, never found it. So again, I do have a PayPal. There is a Patreon down below if you guys want to check those out. Those links are available. Let's see. I think Texas will win the Big 12. Bold pick, Derek. Bold pick. You know, the talent they have there's no doubt they've got the talent. It's just whether or not they have the coaching staff and how far along they've developed the talent. I don't know. Ty hit me up after the video about the ticket. Will do, Timothy. I don't know if you're on Twitter, Timothy. On Patreon. No, Patreon's there. It's here. People can donate to the stream here, but it goes through Google, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where the money goes. On my Patreon or the PayPal, that goes directly to those links. But if you donate through, I guess there's a donation button here when you live stream. I've never actually seen it. I don't know where that money goes. Like I said, I think there's some money sitting somewhere, and I have no idea where it went. Timothy, if you follow me on Twitter, hit me up. Or you can just email me. If you guys, my email is down below, but here, let me type it up. Tyzilla83@gmail.com. There you go. There's my email. Tyzilla83@gmail. So email me, Timothy, and we'll talk. Mark, just donate $5. I don't know where this money goes, people. I have no idea where the money goes. Thank you. I do appreciate it, Mark. You're the man. Mark's been around for a while. Late to the party. What do you think about viable running back option other than Boyd? Haven't seen much. No, and I'm glad you asked that, because DeVault Whaley has shown us a little bit, right? Chase Hayden has shown us a little bit, but no one else has really broke through. And I don't know how much of that's on the line, but then why is Rakeem Boyd able to break through? Yeah, there needs to be. You're right. There needs to be a second option. I donated $15. Oh, man, y'all don't have to do that. I do appreciate it. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if I got it or not. Let me look. If you're talking about on PayPal, let me pull it up. My PayPal. Hang on. Got to get my fingerprint. Let's figure this out. Yep. Yeah, I got it. Yep. We got Tom. Let's see. Patreon received. Cool. I'm just not savvy with this stuff. Like, I had a hard time pulling up figuring out Patreon. It took me forever to get my PayPal set up. I'm just, and I'm only 36. I guess I'm technically a millennial, being born in 83, but like, I'm just not tech savvy when it comes to all these links and, with the PayPal and the Patreon. And the crazy thing is too, I need to do a better job of keeping up with my Patreon too. That's my fault. I'm just bad about that stuff. We're working on bringing in some sponsors on the Hog Talk podcast. If anybody's interested, if you know anyone who owns a business around here, we want to keep it local. Either down in El Dorado, Arkansas, if you're down south somewhere, maybe you're in the Little Rock area, that's where Jacob's located. Peck is in Ozark. I'm up here in Fayetteville, Springdale. We kind of got the three sections of the state kind of. We need someone over in the Delta, and we need someone up in the Northeast to help push the content out there. But anyways, we're trying to push local. We want to keep local Arkansas businesses, and that's who we want to advertise with. So we are working on that too, and I can't wait we got so much stuff planned for you guys. Also, we have a Discord page. It's going to be set up. If you're not familiar with Discord, Google it. Highly recommend it. It's awesome. It's a cool place. What I want to do over on that Discord, and I've mentioned it here before, but what I want to do, the plan is there to get as many Razorback fans as we can. It won't be very many because not a lot of people, or a lot of you are like me. You're not super tech savvy. But again, you can download Discord and you can choose these channels that you go into. And there we can share. Thank you for the donation, Timothy. I appreciate it. But we could share information there. Myself, Jacob, and Jacob Scott Davis. We're going to try and bring some other people in. We're going to try and bring some other people in here local in the media. Some up and coming content creators. Like I want to put us all in that channel on Discord, and we can share information. If we hear something about recruiting, if there's any updates with the team, injuries, whatever, someone, maybe a possible commit coming through. And it's going to be just information that's shared with me or that Jacob is able to share with. Jacob will probably be a lot more limited in that capacity because he can't release all the information that he gets. But I can share what I get. So that's what I want to do over on that Discord page. I want to get that going. I want to rock that out. I want to rock that out. That was stupid. I want to blow that up. I want to blow that up over on the Discord. Truck says I have Discord. Yeah. So we're going to get that rocking and rolling hopefully this week. So again, it's going to be a place where we can all chat it up. We can converse there. There's no paywall. You don't have to pay for anything. What a lot of other content creators do, they'll reserve channels on their Discord, and if you pay to their Patreon, you can go down into that chat and get even more information. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm just not a big fan of hiding stuff behind paywalls, although I get it. We're trying to get this all going, and it's hard and it takes money, to lift us up off the ground. That's why we're looking for sponsors. But anyways, so many plans going on with the Hog Talk podcast. So to review really quick, Ole Miss, I have as a loss for Arkansas. Hope I'm wrong. I think it's going to be close. Again, I can't remember my prediction on the podcast, but I think it was like 20-14 or something. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I do think they have, if they want to win, the keys to success: get the run game going, create havoc in the backfield, contain Corral. Please contain that quarterback. He's dual threat. Do not lose containment. We saw that last week against Portland State. If you break containment, you're spending your whole day blitzing left and right, and you're able to get pressure, but you push him out of the pocket. He's got all the room in the world to run. It's going to be trouble. So, but I think ultimately I've got Arkansas losing this one. I know that's not what people want to hear. Everyone wants to get hyped up for the game. Look, could be wrong because I really have no idea what happens tomorrow. This is going to be an interesting game. So, Truck says, I wasn't impressed with Corral. I wasn't either. But one of the things Arkansas has struggled with are these dual threat quarterbacks. Everybody does. I get it. But Arkansas especially. And you look back at last year and then you look back at that Portland State game. I don't know. Just wait. Western Kentucky is ours. They should kill Western. Who did they lose to in week 1? Central Arkansas, wasn't it? Didn't they lose to UCA? Are you kidding me? That should be a dub. There should be no questions asked about that. That should be a dub. Like, you should be able to run. Like, that's the one game the rest of this year I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. For sure they should beat UCA or Western Kentucky. So, all right. Wrap up. I'm going to read some more comments really quick, then we'll go. Can't wait to see the Hogs tomorrow. And can't wait for the next live streams. Yeah, I really enjoy doing these. I'm a laid back guy, and these are so much more fun to do than for a 7-minute long video. It can take me up to about 2 hours. Not kidding, because what happens is the video is like 12 minutes long, and then I have to edit it, and that takes time. Then you got to create the thumbnail using Adobe Photoshop. No, I'm good. I like to just chill. And Ty still don't start for him. Yeah, no, Ty Story does not start for Western Kentucky. I feel like we'll lose to Colorado State if we don't get it together. At this point, if they lose to Colorado State, oh my God, 2 years in a row. I don't know, guys. I don't know. So, again, thank you guys for the donations. That you didn't have to do that. I do appreciate that. I will eventually find where these donations are going through Google, through YouTube. Again, I have the links down below that go directly to a PayPal or a Patreon, and thank you to those of you who donated there. I appreciate that. But when you donate through the actual Google YouTube link, I have no idea where that money goes. I don't know if Google, you're just donating to Google, or if I'm sure they're putting it aside somewhere for me. I don't know where it goes. I really need to get that figured out. So anyways, thank you guys so much. For those of you who aren't here live, you missed out on some fun. We had a blast. We always do. Next time I'll have a cold beer. But I'm going to try and do at least 1 to 2 live videos a week. So feel free to check those out. And the Hog Talk podcast, we have 2 episodes a week. They had John Neighbors on from the Morning Rush on Monday's show, and then today was just myself and Jacob, and we just broke down the game, the matchup, the Ole Miss Arkansas game. And then next week, I don't know if we have anyone scheduled guest wise on the Monday show. We're in talks with some more big names. We've already had Chuck Barrett, like I said, John Neighbors, Otis Kirk. We had Chandler Morris on. It's incredible, the guests we've been able to bring on. It's so much fun to do those. It's a lot like this, just sitting down, chilling, talking. It's a lot of fun. We had Ben Cleveland on from the Springdale 5. That was a fascinating conversation. You should go check those out. Again, that's on the Hog Talk podcast for those of you, who are on, I think we're on Spotify. I know we're on iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere. So feel free to check those out. Bob Petrino on the show. He is in Little Rock sometime soon. Get your neck braces ready. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you. Remember to like, comment, share the content, all that good stuff. And until next week, go Hogs.